Egypt's military says it's killed the leader of the Sinai branch of Daesh, Duaa al Ansari. They say al Ansari was killed along with around 45 other members of the group in a series of airstrikes south of the city of El Arish. Now, it's not clear when the operation was carried out, and there has as yet been no comment from Daesh. Well, let's just take a closer look at Daesh's activity in Egypt. Duaa al Ansari was largely unknown, and his death is the latest in a series of Egyptian military operations against the group's command structure. Now, the group known as Sinai Province pledged allegiance to Daesh in 2014. It was previously known as Ansar Biet al-Makidis. Now, the group has carried out attacks on Egyptian security forces from its base, and it claimed responsibility for downing a Russian jet in October. Well, for more on this, let's speak to Abubakr al Shamahi, who has more detail. Abubakr, thanks for coming on as always. So what does this man's death mean for this group?
Well, it's the latest in a series of the Egyptian military targeting the group's leadership. And the fact that we actually don't know very much about Duaa al Ansari is testament to that targeting of the leadership of the group. For example, in November, al-Gharbali was one of the leaders who was also killed. Now, the thing to also remember, though, is that this group's particularly resilient. It doesn't go for taking territory, for example. It more focuses on hit-and-run attacks and that kind of thing. That's quite difficult to eradicate for the state. One thing that's also important to look at is the relationship with Libya. So the connection between the Libyan branch of Daesh and the Sinai branch is quite strong. And right now, the branch in Libya is being heavily targeted by the Libyan security forces, by the Libyan militias on the ground, and also now by US airstrikes, and they're weakening and they're losing territory. So the weakening of the Daesh affiliates in Libya will have a knock-on effect in Sinai itself.
And just explain to us a little bit about this group in particular. The Sinai is open desert for all intents and purposes, isn't it? What's their aim in this region? What are they trying to do? Are they trying to link up a huge swathe of territory? Where are they trying to go with these attacks?
Well, as part of the wider Daesh group, the idea is obviously to take more and more territory and then eventually establish a state and kind of form this their new caliphate. Specifically in Sinai. Sinai is a very underdeveloped part of Egypt. There's a quite large population of Egyptian Bedouins there who are quite disenfranchised. And so, apart from the tourism industry in Sinai, the main industry is smuggling. That is the main reason why Sinai has become the base for Daesh in Egypt, as opposed to the more widely known population centers such as Cairo and Alexandria. While Daesh, Sinai province, does carry out attacks in Cairo and Alexandria, it tends to focus in on its home territory in Sinai, where, for example, in March this year, it carried out 31 attacks just in a 2-week period. So despite the Egyptian government's quite strong response to them and the constant attacks by the Egyptian government against the group, they're still able to carry out these little hit-and-run attacks, these little kind of the smaller attacks that perhaps instead of taking actual territory, and they're able to do that relatively successfully.
Just cutting away at the Egyptian government. Well, Abubakr, for now, thank you.